The 2002 RPG rewind more than just pixels. Hey gamers! Today we're diving into the top 3 RPGs that snagged the Game of the Year title in 2002. Let's get started. Now, 2002 might seem like ancient history to some of you, a time when dial-up was king and graphics were, well, let's just say, but don't let that fool you. This was a pivotal year for role-playing games, a period where developers weren't just pushing polygons, they were pushing boundaries, crafting experiences that would echo through the halls of gaming history for decades to come. These weren't just games, they were statements. We're talking about titles that didn't just entertain. They immersed, they challenged, and they often left us staring at our screens, minds absolutely blown by the sheer scale and ambition. Think about it. What does it take for an RPG to not only be good, but to be crowned? It's more than just a compelling story or flashy combat. It's about innovation, impact, and creating a world so rich you could practically smell the digital air. These games had that special something, that secret sauce that made them legendary. So, get ready to journey back with us as we dissect what made these 3 RPG titans of 2002 tick. We'll explore their mechanics, unravel their narratives, and maybe, just maybe, uncover a few hidden details you missed the first time around. Or, if you're new to these classics, prepare to have your gaming worldview expanded. This isn't just a nostalgia trip, it's a lesson in game design brilliance. Are you ready to theorize? Let's go! First up, we have an epic adventure that redefined the RPG genre, The Elder Scrolls III: Morrowind. Now, when I say redefined, I mean it the mold. Forget your typical Tolkien-esque fantasy landscapes of rolling green hills and charming villages. Bethesda said, nah, let's drop players into a bizarre alien world filled with giant mushrooms, ash storms, and creatures that look like they crawled out of a fever dream. And you know what? It was genius. The island of Vardenfell wasn't just a backdrop. It was a character in itself, hostile, mysterious, and utterly captivating. It dared to be different, and that's a hallmark of a true Game of the Year. The sheer freedom Morrowind offered was, and honestly still is, staggering. There was no giant arrow pointing you to your next objective, no hand-holding tutorials coddling you through every interaction. You were an outlander, dumped off a prison ship, and told to, well, figure it out. This level of player agency was revolutionary. You could follow the main quest, sure, or you could spend hundreds of hours just exploring, joining factions, becoming a master enchanter, or even, and this is a classic, using Scrolls of Icarian Flight to launch yourself across the entire map, usually to a comical, splattery end. But that was the beauty of it. The world reacted, or rather, you to interact in these wild ways. And let's talk about the lore. The Elder Scrolls universe is famously dense, but Morrowind took it to another level. We're talking about living gods, ancient prophecies, political intrigue between great houses, and a culture so alien it felt meticulously researched, even though it was entirely fictional. Reading in-game books wasn't just flavor text. It was essential to understanding the complex tapestry of this world. It made you feel like an archaeologist, piecing together the history of a forgotten civilization. How many games can truly say they encouraged you to become a scholar of their world? Not many, I'll tell you that. The character progression system was also a major departure. Instead of just picking a class and being locked in, your skills improved by: want to be a better swordsman? Swing that sword. Want to master destruction magic? Start blasting. This organic growth felt incredibly rewarding and allowed for truly unique character builds. You could be a heavily armored mage, a stealthy warrior, or anything in between. The game didn't just allow for customization, it actively encouraged experimentation, making every playthrough feel distinct and personal. This wasn't just playing a role, it was it. Ultimately, Morrowind's triumph was its unapologetic commitment to its vision. It was a game that respected the player's intelligence, trusting them to navigate its complexities and discover its wonders on their own. It wasn't always easy. In fact, it could be brutally difficult and unforgiving. But that challenge made every achievement, every discovery, feel incredibly earned. It set a new standard for open-world RPGs, proving that a game world could be both vast and incredibly deep, a formula that many would try to replicate, but few would truly master with such unique flair. Next on our list is a game that captivated players with its immersive world and gripping storyline, but also, and this is crucial, with something truly groundbreaking, Neverwinter Nights. Developed by the legendary BioWare, this title brought the magic of Dungeons & Dragons to our PCs like never before. The main campaign itself was a solid, sprawling adventure filled with memorable companions, classic D&D tropes, and a plague-ridden city desperate for heroes. It had that signature BioWare polish, with engaging dialogue and choices that felt like they mattered, drawing you into the plight of Neverwinter. But here's where Neverwinter Nights transcended from being just a good RPG to a Game of the Year contender. It wasn't just about the game BioWare gave us, it was about the game could create. I'm talking, of course, about the Aurora toolset. This powerful, yet surprisingly user-friendly set of tools allowed players to become dungeon masters themselves, crafting their own modules, campaigns, and persistent worlds. This was revolutionary, folks. It democratized game design, putting incredible creative power directly into the hands of the community. Suddenly, the possibilities were limitless. Think about the impact of that. The official campaign was just the beginning. Players built everything from small, intimate adventures for a handful of friends to massive, sprawling online worlds that hosted hundreds of players simultaneously, each with their own unique rules, lore, and ongoing narratives. These persistent worlds were the precursors to modern MMO-like experiences, all run by dedicated fans. The creativity on display was astounding. Intricate dungeons, complex political simulators, even romantic visual novels, all built within the Neverwinter Nights engine. It was a testament to the passion of the D&D community. This focus on user-generated content also fostered an incredible sense of community. Forums buzzed with module reviews, scripting advice, and calls for playtesters. Players weren't just consumers of content, they were active participants and creators, collaborating and sharing their visions. This collaborative spirit was a huge part of what made Neverwinter Nights so special. It wasn't just a single player or a limited multiplayer experience. It was a platform, a digital stage where countless stories could unfold, limited only by imagination and scripting skill. So, while the core game provided dozens of hours of classic RPG goodness, its true legacy lies in the empowerment of its players. Neverwinter Nights understood that the heart of Dungeons & Dragons is storytelling and shared experience. By providing the Aurora toolset, BioWare didn't just release a game, they unleashed a tidal wave of creativity that extended the life and impact of Neverwinter Nights far beyond what anyone could have anticipated. It wasn't just a game, it was a phenomenon, a community-building engine that truly earned its accolades. Chapter 3, Kingdom Hearts, the Unlikeliest Masterpiece. And finally, a title that combined innovative gameplay with unforgettable characters in a way that, on paper, sounded absolutely bonkers, Kingdom Hearts. Seriously, picture the pitch meeting. Okay, so we take the intricate, angsty world of Final Fantasy, and we smash it together with the whimsical, beloved characters of Disney. And the main character? A kid with giant shoes wielding a giant key. It sounds like a recipe for disaster, a fever dream of corporate synergy gone wrong. But here's the kicker, the absolute mind bender. It worked. And not only did it work, it soared, capturing the hearts of millions. The genius of Kingdom Hearts lay in its ability to seamlessly blend these two, seemingly disparate universes. One moment you're fighting alongside Donald Duck and Goofy, casting spells and smacking Heartless, and the next you're having a surprisingly poignant conversation with Squall Leon, or Aerith Gainsborough. The game treated both properties with a surprising amount of respect, capturing the essence of each Disney world while weaving in the overarching and surprisingly complex narrative that would become the series' hallmark. It was a masterclass in tonal balancing. But it wasn't just a novelty act. Beneath the charming Disney veneer and Final Fantasy cameos was a solid action RPG. The combat was fluid and engaging, with a unique lock-on system and a satisfying progression of abilities and magic. Exploring the various Disney worlds, each meticulously recreated with its own unique aesthetic and challenges, was a joy. From the depths of Atlantica to the spooky charm of Halloween Town, each world felt distinct and offered new gameplay mechanics or story beats. It was a constant stream of, oh wow, they included that character or world, moments. And let's not forget the story. What started as a simple quest to find lost friends quickly spiraled into a saga involving light, darkness, the nature of hearts, nobodies, unversed, and a whole lot of zippers. Yes, the lore would eventually become famously convoluted, a paradise for theorists like myself, but at its core, the original Kingdom Hearts told a deeply emotional story about friendship, loss, and sacrifice. The relationship between Sora, Riku, and Kairi was the emotional anchor, and it resonated powerfully with players. Yoko Shimomura's iconic soundtrack certainly helped, tugging at heartstrings with every melancholic piano melody or epic orchestral swell. Kingdom Hearts was a gamble, a huge, audacious risk that paid off spectacularly. It proved that wildly different creative visions could not only coexist, but could also create something entirely new and wonderful. It brought RPG mechanics to a broader audience, many of whom might have been initially drawn in by the Disney characters, only to discover a deep and rewarding game underneath. It was charming, it was heartfelt, it was surprisingly deep, and it was undeniably unique, making it a more than worthy recipient of Game of the Year honors. It dared to dream, and it invited us all to dream along with it. So there you have it. Our deep dive into 3 RPG juggernauts that didn't just win Game of the Year in 2002, but also carved out permanent places in gaming history. From the alien landscapes and unparalleled freedom of Morrowind, to the community-driven creativity unleashed by Neverwinter Nights' Aurora toolset, and the utterly improbable yet perfectly executed fusion of Disney and Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, each of these titles brought something truly special to the table. They weren't just iterative sequels, they were bold statements, pushing the boundaries of what RPGs could be. These games demonstrate that innovation, strong world building, and a willingness to trust the player, or empower them, are timeless qualities. Think about how many modern RPGs still bear the fingerprints of these classics: the open-world design, the user-generated content, the ambitious crossover storytelling. The echoes of 2002 are still heard today, which is a testament to their groundbreaking design and lasting impact. It really makes you wonder what hidden gems from that era we might have overlooked, or what future Game of the Year titles are currently being brewed in developers' cauldrons. That's it for our top 3 RPGs of 2002 Game of the Year. Which one was your favorite? Did Morrowind's alien charm capture you? Did Neverwinter's toolset unleash your inner DM? Or did Kingdom Hearts' unlikely magic steal your heart? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming content. We've got plenty more theories, retrospectives, and deep dives coming your way. Until next time, game on!